Hello, love. Welcome to the Sacred Purpose Podcast, a place where we illuminate your innate wisdom and help you embody your soul's calling. I'm your host, Lisa Malia, midwife, breast cancer survivor, and mama of 3, turned nonprofit CEO and embodiment coach. We're each on a unique path to live our sacred purpose, but we don't need to walk it alone. Through the power of connection, feminine wisdom, and embodied leadership, we can elevate our lives, communities, and businesses. Each week, I'll bring you transformative stories, practices, and rituals to support you in trusting and following your intuition, creating space to live a life of sacred purpose with deeper clarity and unapologetic joy. As we reimagine and envision a new way forward. Are you ready? Let's dive in. The Law of Abundance in Feminine Leadership. I'm Lisa Malia. I'm so happy to have you back here. It has been a little bit since we recorded an episode, and I couldn't be more excited to share this one with you today. It's been requested for a while now, so here it is. Let's get into it. We're going to dive into my definition of abundance, why it's a feminine energy, and how I believe it shows up in feminine leadership, and what happens when we trust and embody this energy, and what happens when we don't. Because it's a really beautiful energy, and it really informs the way our beliefs and our actions line up. It really affects the impact that we're having in the world, and it affects the experiences that we're having, and what our outlook really truly is. I think that's really what the essence of it is it really presents an outlook for the way you are behaving and the way you are experiencing the world and the things that you are doing in the world and the impact you're having. Okay, so what is abundance? How does it relate to feminine leadership? Here's the thing. I think a traditional sense of abundance might look like I have all these things, right? I have money, I have health, I have housing, I have food, I have family, I have relationships, I have work, I have passion, whatever you want to look at, on the spectrum of things we love to have as human beings or need to have to survive. And our definition of abundance might look a little bit different, but the view of it is, if I'm not hitting 10 out of 10 in all these areas of life, then I must be lacking somewhere. And the sense of growing up in a traditional value system is, if I work hard, I'll have more. If I do more, I'll have more. If I just do a little bit more of this, I'm going to have a little bit more of this. And of course, there is an energetic alignment that needs to happen. But it's not necessarily just this more equals more equals more equals more. That's a very masculine energy that just drives you to more depletion of your internal resources and the resources of the world around you, quite honestly. And so that's when we actually begin working against abundance. There's also a mindset, right? That we need to believe that we are worthy of more in order to be able to receive more. And while that is also true, that isn't the only energy to look at here. Yes, it's about having a mindset shift along the way, but really and truly and honestly, it is about a belief system. My revelation around this came when I realized that, doing more didn't always equal more. It led to usually more exhaustion is what I got. I wasn't having the experiences that I wanted. And I certainly didn't feel like I had what I needed, because I was constantly just trying to do more of this, and one area would fall away. I could focus on one thing, but then another area would suffer. This belief that if abundance is true for me, then it must also be true for everyone. If that really is the essence of abundance, because believing that I can do it all or that I am worthy, but nobody else is worthy, or that I have to take in order to have, or somebody else needs to lack in order for me to have. There's this imbalance that happens where either I'm putting out too much energy, or I'm taking from another. And that really just doesn't work unless I believe that abundance is true for all of us. And even in situations where it's inaccessible, how can we then start to create more access? Abundance is, it's like water and it's like money. And if it doesn't flow and if it doesn't move, then it becomes stagnant, it loses its value, it gets sick, it becomes depleted. And I look at our physical energy and the relation to this earth that we're on. When we look to learn about abundance, what does that really mean? If there is more than enough for everybody, what does that really mean? I mean, if you just really look at this planet, the way it provides this multitude of experiences, of terrain, of vegetation, of lifestyles, of landscapes, of views, all the abundance, right? And available to us in a way to experience it, in a way to live off of it, in a way to be fed and to be nourished. And we can look at places that don't feel as abundant, that don't have as much. But then how could we spread our resources? How could we offer more? How could we allow that abundance to move through it so that really we are all being nourished and fed? I know that's more on a global scale, but truly and honestly, this is the essence of feminine leadership. And we are seeing a lack of abundance in our leadership on a global scale. I'll dial it back to see how, just to talk about how this influences us in our daily lives. But that is the bigger picture of how it also influences us on a global scale. When we believe and we trust in abundance, when we really trust that there is enough for all of us. There is more than enough for all of us. And how can we draw upon more resources while also gifting more resources? And so that we can ourselves be able to provide more to the things that we care about and show up more for the things that we care about, support more for the things that we care about, and also be in collaboration and community and connection in receiving and drawing upon the resources that are available to us. Even though it feels like we might not have them, we have access to them. So this is really creating an access to the resources that you need, or the people that you need, or the experiences that you desire, to create a flow and a movement of the energy so that it can come to you and through you. And that is the feminine essence of abundance. It's the feminine energy. It is something that is meant to flow. It is here for everyone. The earth is here for everyone. Abundance is here for everyone. And we are here to learn and unlearn how to work with that energy and how to move that energy. I do want to tell you, I'll pause for a moment here and tell you about a workshop that I have coming up. It is the Abundant Feminine Leader. It's coming up in a week. If you're listening to this podcast episode, the week of May 15th. And we're diving into all of this. So I really encourage you to get to that link in the show notes here and sign up to attend. If it's cost prohibitive, send me a message. We'll get you in there. But I really want you to think about how this impacts the way you lead, the way you show up, the experiences that you're having. And even if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like, I don't have access to these things, and how do I get them? How do I shift my beliefs so that I can see the possibility that's really right in front of me, and make sure that we as feminine leaders are having the impact that we want to have in the world. So this is the other side of abundance, and that is that we're having the impact that we want to have in the world, that we are staying true to our values and staying true to our mission, having the impact that we desire. And the way we do that is having a belief and a trust in this feminine energy, that we don't have to deplete ourselves, and we don't have to deplete our resources, and we don't have to take from somewhere else in order for something else to be improved. And it's just really understanding how to build a network and how to build the capacity to receive and connect and move these resources in a way that fills you up, that is able to work with the things that you care about. And how do you do that? How do you start to bring and call these things in? It's going to look a little bit different for everybody. Of course it is, because we all come to the table with different gifts. I'm going to be able to share something or a connection or a resource or an ability that I have or a knowledge that I have. There's so many ways, right? My art, anything, my skills that I can bring to the table. And everybody's going to come to the table with something else. And so often there's people around us, there's resources around us that we don't see. And we get so in our tunnel vision or our mindset about thinking that, we can just do it all or have it all, right? We forget sometimes to take these blinders off, and sometimes they're very sneaky in the way that they show up. Um, and in feminine spaces, you find that it's not uncommon for women to feel like they don't trust other women, even that they haven't had a lot of strong female relationships, that they feel competitive or they feel maybe a little bit like they don't belong or they are having a little bit of imposter syndrome. All of these little micro negative energies that can show up. This is where not having that faith and that belief and that trust in abundance will show up. It's very sneaky the way it does, but it will show up in comparison and competition and self-doubt. And the reason that is because traditionally there hasn't been a lot of seats at the table for women. Usually one woman gets to break that glass ceiling, and we can say all we want that we're creating a pathway for more women, and we are. But it's time to really re-examine that, the way we look at that energy and the way we engage with it, because there's more than enough for all of us. There isn't just one seat at the table anymore. And even if it's our own business that we're running and we're in an all women networking group, or we're thinking about all the things that we're doing, and even if it's somebody that's doing the exact same work that you're doing, right? Believing that there is more than enough. We all can be feminine leadership coaches, right? I'm not going to be everybody's flavor, right? So how do we even just refer people that supposedly are in competition with you, or refer to that woman that you admire, or that woman that you think, wow, she doesn't even see her own magic. Let's build her up. Those are just some very obvious and tangible ways that we can start to look at how we might be holding back not only opportunity from ourselves, but opportunity for others. Um, it can show up in conversations. It can show up as in like not listening very well, or talking over each other, or competing for space, or competing for the credit, or competing for that opportunity. And really just trusting that your opportunities are available to you. There's other opportunities that are aligned for other people. Um, and to abundantly let those opportunities even move through you. Let those possibilities move through you. Stay open to, the tickets to an event that you're not even going to, but somebody else might, so that you can just like let the energy flow, let the movement go. You don't have to just hold it all. You can actually expand by allowing it to move through you. You can actually begin to call in more resources and return more resources and gift more resources. When you start to really see this entire web start to communicate with you, the little lights going off, so that you can make those connections and bring that together and take the advantage of that opportunity, and gift this other thing to somebody in need, and really build up this energy that in essence really helps us manifest the life that we desire very, very quickly. So you talk about like quantum growth and quantum manifestation. This really clears the pathway. It opens it up. and brings even more possibility to the table in infinite ways that you don't even see. So start to notice the small ways that this shows up and the big ways that it shows up. And when we come together, it explodes. That's what it does. You get some energy like this together, and it becomes such an ignition point for bringing this into the world in even more impactful ways. And, going back to the way it's going to show up in our households, the way it's going to show up in our friendships, our communities, the work we do, and the impact we're having. And it's so necessary, especially at this time in the world and what's happening globally, that we begin to shift the tide so that feminine leadership and abundance and that wisdom really comes forward, where we don't have to resort to fighting over land, fighting over freedom, fighting over choices of our bodies. We don't have to, on a global scale, on a political scale, on even in our own countries. I'm in the US, and, fighting for our bodily autonomy, our medical system. We don't have to suppress another so that our beliefs can be respected, so that we can have choice. There's just no need for that. We can have our choices, other people can have their choices, and we will all be more than okay. And when this becomes the opposite of that, those are the things that we start to see happening in a very dramatic and horrific way, when we allow that toxic need for more equals more to drive and lose its control and its ability to discern and keep going after more control, more harm, more dominance. And it's killing us, and it's killing our planet, and it's killing our energy. And that is just not the world that I want to live in. I imagine that you don't either. And I want to maintain, because I am hopeful, and I believe that this is our job, this is our calling, to bring this energy into the world in this way, at this time, to choose this path, of abundance, to really take feminine leadership, feminine, women supporting women to the next level. And we do this really by doing the work ourselves, creating those belief systems, building that trust in that belief system, and making sure that our beliefs and our actions are aligned with our values, and bringing that into the world in a way that feels really abundant, so that we are having the impact and the experiences that we desire. So some things for you to think about: the areas in your life that you do feel really abundant, whether it's education, skills, wisdom, resources, um, anything, whatever you think that you feel like you're really abundant in: health, um, education, mental health, whatever you have, like an abundance of knowledge or resources. And where do you feel really abundant, right? Like, I just am so filled in this area of my life. Um, and what areas do you feel like you don't have as much right now? Maybe you have in the past, maybe you would like to in the future. Maybe right now there's an area of support where you would like to have or feel more abundant in. And then I want you to get really creative and think about where you might be able to access that. Um, and start to look at it in a very untraditional way. And one example I will give is, say, you can talk about wealth or money, and somebody might not feel like, I'm very wealthy. Maybe I don't have a lot of money, maybe whatever. But you're a financial advisor. You're very good with money. Maybe you're an accountant. Maybe you have a skill set that helps people learn how to access money or where to go for funding. Or maybe you've worked with a nonprofit and you know how to do grant writing, right? There's so many ways you can look at how to access money and resources. Or maybe there's programs available, or different nonprofits to go and seek help from. So I want you to start to look at in an untraditional way of the do more, get more, and start to see what resources and what other ways there is an opportunity to access that type of energy or support that you're looking for, to connect with or to provide to somebody else. Um, and it can look that way just about any area of your life. There are more than one way to go after some of these things and start to build those connections on those opportunities for yourself. And then flip that around and also see what are maybe some non-traditional ways that you're also able to connect into this flow so that it is moving through you and moving out through you and having this incredible ripple effect, so that there is a lot of people receiving from you your gifts, your medicine, your talent, your voice, your wisdom, all the things that you came into this world to provide, so that we can grow, so that we can really lead in a new way, so that we can expand our capacity to hold more, our our capacity to influence in a meaningful way, our capacity to impact the world in a meaningful way. Um, and then our capacity to have the experiences that we came to have in this lifetime that we desire and that we want. And believe that we can make that available by holding that vision, by doing that work, that we can impact other women to be able to do the same. Again, I thank you so much for being here. I can't believe it's been so long. I'm so thrilled to be back doing more of these episodes. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. If you're visiting back, thank you so much for sticking around and being on this ride with me. I can't wait to bring you more content. Let me know. I really love these episodes. I bring on guests and we'll do some little snippets, some little 10-minute energy upgrades along the way, some quick episodes just to help boost your energy and help you find another center for alignment. Um, so those are going to be really fun to do. And again, go visit the link for that workshop. There's a community coming that you can sign up for as well. You can do the single workshop or you can sign up for the monthly community. And there's a lot of benefits to doing it that way. Um, and I will share with you that there is a mastermind that is opening up next month. And I will leave the link to the application for that. So I haven't officially announced it or opened it up officially, but I am talking to a few women about it. And we are, if this is something that's curious to you, that you're really wanting to deepen this level of work, that you really want the business that you're running or the role that you're playing or the work that you're doing to really align in this way. This is the work that we're doing. It's for women that want to change their world, change the world, really embody this feminine leadership, who also like to dance with the moon and have rituals and sacred space and ceremony and fantastic, deep, meaningful, wonderful, joyful relationships with other women. And um, just really do this work together. I really truly believe that we don't need to separate who we are. A lot of the work that I do centers around that. If you look at my feminine leadership archetypes, I don't believe in this doing it all to have it all. I don't believe that women need to wear all these hats. I don't think that we need to wear all these masks and shapeshift all day long. I want our whole selves to be showing up all the time. It is far more resourceful and energetically aligned when we do it that way. And we are able to actually impact everything that we do in a much more meaningful way while feeling really, really good and resourced in our energy. And that is what this space is, this mastermind, and even the community, the collective, that we don't separate our work from our personal, from our spiritual. And I love bringing all of it together so that we can show up as our whole selves. So it's a place to feel like you've returned home again and again. Drop your shoulders, exhale, do the inner work so you can show up in the outer world the way you want to. Also, just have all those deep, meaningful, transformative moments, but let it connect to everything that you're doing, your work and your relationship, and the experiences that you came here to have and that you want to have. And so that's the kind of spaces that I love to create. I love bringing the spiritual into the physical so we can embody it and see what it feels like in this body. That's what we're here for, to experience all the joy, all the full realm of possibility, the grief, all of it, just learning to hold all of it. And deepen into those experiences together. So I will leave the application to that mastermind. We can talk one-on-one. I can give you more details. But otherwise, I really hope to see you at this upcoming workshop. Answer more of your questions. Let me know what came up for you in this episode and what else you want to know so that I can really start to shape this workshop for you. And thank you again for being here. I will see you again on the next episode, and reach out if you have any questions. And honestly, I would really love it if you could give a review, help this episode reach more women, send it to a friend. And just like I said, check in, let me know how your day's going. All right, sending you much love and many blessings.